Hi, Aletha here with Create Your Future and welcome to my video. What are you aware of right now internally? What are you consciously thinking about all the time, most of the time? What is it? What are you focused on? Because whatever that is going to show up in your 3D reality, and chances are it already is. And we'll get into that in a moment. But first I want to tell you that that Create Your Future is giving away a free course on how to find your blocks to manifest anything fast. You can get that by clicking the link in the description box below. Also, I have courses that are available and all of my coaching is still 50% off. So check it all out. And let's get into the topic. You are in control of your own beautiful, wonderful quantum bubble reality and no one else. So everything that's showing up in your current 3D reality is a result of what's going on inside of you. It's nothing more than a reflection of who you are inside, what you think about, what you feel, what you focus on all the time. So your state of consciousness is always being projected out of you and then reflected back to you, mirrored back to you. So what you're seeing in your current 3D reality, you may be in pain, you may be really hurting physically or emotionally, both, but either over an SP or something in your body that's not functioning properly. You may be sad and frightened and worried about money, your children. I mean, it can be in the world, our current circumstances in our world right now. You may be living in a state of consciousness of fear and anxiety and hurt and pain. And if you are, then you're going to be pushing that out of you and it will be reflected back. And so in many cases, that it's the same old thing that keeps happening over and over and over because we have not changed our internal state of consciousness. And when you do, that's when the miracles really start to flood in. And I want to also qualify that they do flood in and it gets more and more. It's like a snowball effect. But in the beginning, it might be slow trickling and little tiny things because it is all dependent on your ability to stay in that state of consciousness that says, this is what I want, and I know I have it now because creation is finished, and whatever I am conscious of, that's what I become. I am whatever I am conscious of, and the universe only reflects back who you are, not what you want. And so you can live in a state of consciousness that repeats the same old stuff over and over, the fear, the anxiety, the worry. When you're consciously talking to other people about your problem, your situation, or you're constantly thinking about it yourself, when you're doing that, you're creating more of it. When you're saying, I am sick, I am frightened, I am lonely, I am missing my SP, you are creating more of that to show up in your current 3D reality. You are literally predicting your future by saying, I am. It's a command. I am is a command to your subconscious mind that this is who I am. So it's going to give you more of that. Instead, change your wording from I am ill to I am always healthy. I am always full of vibrancy and life. I am with my SP. I am happy. I am content. I am good with who I am right now in this current circumstance, situation in my heart, because inside of me, I have everything my heart desires. Why do you need, want, or anything when you know you have everything? Creation is finished. You can't see it yet, but you know it exists. Creation is finished. So if you know it exists because creation is finished, though you can't see it yet in the current 3D reality, but you know it exists, why not live in the joy of that right now instead of the fear, the anxiety, the missing, the longing, the whatever it may be? Even when you're in pain, tell yourself it's only temporary. This is only temporary. This is a reflection. It's not even real. That's why it's temporary. I mean, it could be permanent. It actually could be permanent if you continue to dwell on it and continue to expand it over and over again with thoughts that are expanding it, that I have this, this is, whatever it might be. And you keep thinking about it and worrying about it. And what if this happens? And what if that happens? Then you're going to get more of it, and it can become permanent as long as you have those permanent kinds of negative thinking and assumptions where you are living in a state of consciousness that is fear, anxiety, and not having the thing your heart desires. But when you change it all to, I have this now because I know creation is finished and whatever I desire already exists, and all I got to do is pay attention to it. Now, will it trickle in? Will it come in? Yes, of course it can come in quickly. It may take a little time, but what you can know is it's proportionate to how well you stay in your new state of consciousness that I have this now. How well you stay in that state of consciousness that I have this now. And it feels so wonderful. How would it feel to be perfect health right now? Think about that. How would it feel to be with your specific person? What joyful thoughts would you have? How would you move and act? And what would you do if you had your desire right now? You do, but you've got to embellish it within yourself, embrace it and really embellish it and feel it to the fullest extent. It has to overpower all of the negative stuff going on in yourself that you've been thinking about, and all of what you're seeing in the 3D that isn't what you want. You need to stay in this new state of consciousness that says, I am this now, I have it, I know it, it's existing in the quantum field. It's mine, I select it, and so I'm going to give it all my attention. I am perfect health, and I feel vibrant and young and beautiful and healthy. And you let go of what's going on in the 3D. You know that you're with your specific person, and you guys have this beautiful, wonderful life together. You live from those feelings. No, you can't see it yet. You can't touch it. They're not in the room with you. And you still may have pain in some part of your body, but you're saying that I have perfect health and I feel energetic and vibrant and young and youthful and full of energy, whatever it might be. And the same thing with money. It hasn't shown up yet, but you know it will because it's already yours. It's just that time between now, this change of when you live in this state of consciousness until it literally shows up. It's this consciousness, this new state of consciousness. You don't have to do anything. You do not have to meddle with anything. You don't have to figure out when the pain is going to go away, when the SP is going to come in, when the money's going to show up, or whatever it is. You don't have to figure out any of that. You don't have to know when. You don't know how. You don't need to know how. You don't have to do anything to make it come into existence other than live internally in a state of consciousness that says, I have it now, and feel the feelings. You see, the thought, the thought that I have it now, that intention, that acknowledgement is the energy, but the magnet is the feeling that pulls it to you. It sends it out to the universe, and the magnet pulls it back into you. And so because it's reflected back to you, it is mirrored back to you. So you have it now. And that is all you need to do. You don't have to try to fix the outside world. The outside world isn't your business. What's going on in the 3D right now, I don't care who said what or what's going on in your world. Stay in that state of consciousness that says, I have this right now. It's mine. And the best way to do that and to really feel like you're conquering it, because often people say, well, I don't know if I'm doing it right. Well, don't worry about that, because you can change. You can make yourself feel more confident by saying, I'm grateful. I'm so grateful. What's it feel like when you say, I'm grateful that I'm with my SP? What's it feel like even though you're in pain physically, and you're grateful that you have perfect health, and you have an image in your mind of you doing whatever you're limited now with. You're doing it freely and easily. You need to stay in your imagination in a state of consciousness that says, I am this now. I have it now, and feel that to the fullest extent that you can. So it's practice. It is a practice because, there's a lot of the old 3D still in you. It's going to project out some of it, not all of it, some of it, and you're changing. So it's a process, but you don't need to worry because the universe will bend over backwards. It will mirror, it has to mirror back to you whatever you're putting out there. Bottom line, it's that simple. All the other stuff you can just forget about. You got a state of consciousness going on inside of you, whether it is for the good that you want or the not so good that you don't want. Whatever it is, you're going to get it back. It's going to mirror back to you, the good or the not so good. So why don't you stick with the good? Because it will be mirrored back. Be encouraged. It has to be mirrored back. That's the law of the universe. It doesn't sit out there and say, oh, well, I don't know. Maybe she should have this or he should have that. No, no, no. Whatever you send out, it mirrors back. Bottom line. And what is so cool about our subconscious mind, it has no idea that what you're imagining and thinking isn't in the current 3D reality. We tend to think that the current 3D reality, the physical world, the external world, is the real true reality. It's not. It's a reflection, you know that, of your past state of consciousness and thoughts and feelings, but which is a state of consciousness. But it doesn't know the difference. You're imagining it. So, okay, you're in the 3D reality and something's showing up you don't like. Okay, you consider that to be the true reality. And so, and you just naturally assume that your conscious mind, subconscious mind thinks that too. It does. But now you're imagining the very opposite of that negative thing, and it feels so wonderful. And guess what? You are the only one here that knows you're imagining it, and it's not taking place in the external world, that it's taking place in the internal world that hasn't yet shown up in the external world. Your subconscious mind doesn't know that. When you imagine something internally, it thinks it's the thing. It's what you are. So it's going to go about its task of bringing it into you. So if you are imagining all those negative things showing up, or keep going over and over and over everything they said to you, everything they've done to you, or what happened to you 20 years ago or 5 years ago that's created this deficiency in you, or this hurt and this pain in you. I've had clients who say, I am a product of abuse, and you know, there's all kinds of abuse, and they name what that is. And so they were living out of that still after being children. And these are grown adults still living from labeling themselves as a victim of abuse. When what was showing up in their world, other evidence that they're victims of abusive behavior from all sorts of sources, not just SPs or family members. It was from in many, many different ways. When you change your state of consciousness from being the victim of abuse or the victim of anything, it changes to the positive, whatever it is that you've changed it from being a victim to being victorious and in control of everything. You are not a victim of anything. You are in control of everything. And you do not have to be afraid of anything because you're in control of everything with your mind. The only thing that needs to change is your mind. Nothing else. You don't have to worry about changing that external world. Change your mind. Change what you're thinking about. Changing, when you have a new thought, you have a new feeling. And are those feelings joyful and happy? And yes, because I have what I want. I already have the perfect health. I already have the SP. I already have the money. I already have the family relationships that are beautiful and wonderful and harmonious. I have it all. I already have the new car, so I feel safe and secure driving down the road, whatever it might be. And you live in that state of consciousness. Has the evidence shown up yet in your 3D? No, but it will. It has to. Because whatever you believe, say you are, whatever your state of consciousness is, when you're great, and I said earlier about being grateful, when you're grateful that you have that SP, the health, the money, whatever it is, when you're giving thanks for that, the universe sees that. See, the gratitude is the highest receivership. When you send that emotion out into the universe, immediately it's like, that's who she is. She is with her SP. She is grateful for that. And so what do you get? You get all of that mirrored back. You get more of that gratitude mirrored back, more of all of those good things and related to whatever it is that you changed your state, your consciousness to. So if you're living in a state of consciousness that you're already with your SP, because the truth is you are, You are. You just can't see it yet. It's still unseen. And the only way it's going to become seen is if you place your awareness on it and your emotions on it that say, I have this now, and you feel those feelings. And you live like that all the time. It's what you do. All day long. That's your mental diet. I am this now. I am whatever I am conscious of being. And it will come into you. The universe will mirror it back to you. So there's nothing to be afraid of anymore. You're in control of it all. It's all dependent on your state of consciousness. If you have a state of consciousness that's saying, I have lack, then change it to, I'm abundant. And I always have more than enough of whatever it is your heart's desiring. And live in that state of consciousness. And when you do, just live there and be grateful. Constantly be grateful. And when you have a moment of fear or anxiety or doubt or negative thought comes across your mind, just live in that state of consciousness that says, that's grateful. Just immediately say, no, I am grateful that I am with my SP. I am grateful I have perfect health. I am grateful that I am whatever it is you want. And when you do that, you will see your life change, because it has to. It's the law of the universe. You change your state of consciousness, you change your 3D reality. Your reality right now is only a reflection of what your past state of consciousness was or is currently. Currently, obviously, you're pushing out whatever you're seeing in front of you. If it's not what you want, change your state of consciousness to what you do want. And it's not fake it till you make it. It's not pretending. It's changing it, your thoughts inside of you, to be and feel and know and accept the fact that if I have a desire, it's mine, creation's finished, and you live from there. See, consciousness is the only reality. And when you realize that, you don't have to do anything but place your attention wherever it is, on whatever it is you want. You want to be with a specific person, then you can. You place your consciousness on that from the end of already having it, and you feel those feelings. Same way with your health. Nothing is impossible. Everything is consciousness. Everything is consciousness. The only true reality is your consciousness. What am I conscious of? That's the true reality. And when you know that and you live, okay, I have this desire to be with my SP. That is my consciousness, is the only reality. I will live there. I will be happy there. I will be grateful there, and continually live in that state of consciousness and feeling those wonderful feelings of how it feels to be with that person that I love. And you stay in that, and the universe must mirror it back to you. The only true reality is your state of consciousness, and the only place that it exists is inside of you. In you. You can't fix things outside of you. Nope. Only inside. You fix it by changing your state of consciousness. I am this now, and I feel those feelings. And I know it will become my next 3D reality. I will see evidence. It may start out slow, but that's okay. Don't give up. You've got to persist. So many people quit right before they're going to get to that point. And what if you have fear of the unknown? Well, so what? Stay in your state of consciousness that says, I am this now. And allow everything to unfold naturally. And that's what Neville Goddard was talking about. You live from the end of the wish fulfilled and feeling the feeling of that would be yours if you had it now. And when you do that, it has to show up. And the best way to do that is to the best way to do that is to meditate every day, as many times as you can. And to just take a few moments aside if you need to in a busy schedule, and feel the feeling of being that person, because that's who you are. And walk out your life internally as best as you can, being that person. How would that person think, feel? What would they say and do? And be conscious of your thoughts. Are they in alignment with your desire of what you know you already have? This state of consciousness that says, I am this with whomever, or I have perfect health or money, whatever it is. Stay in that state of consciousness. Rephrase your words and make sure that you understand the I am is a command to your subconscious mind. So instead of I am poor or I am out of money, say other things like I am just living by a specific budget. I am content in I am whatever it is you want, I am, or I have, and it is, and live from that state of consciousness. If you have questions on any of this, please leave a comment and I'll do my best to respond to it. And also, if you want, we could always do a one-on-one coaching. That's fine too. And remember, consciousness is the only reality. What you're seeing in your current 3D reality is not real. It is a reflection, an illusion of your past states of consciousness or your current state of consciousness. And if the things that are showing up in your 3D are not what you want, and they're repeating themselves like patterns, then you know you need to change your state of consciousness, just the opposite of what you're thinking, usually, right? If you're thinking, I am a victim of whatever, or I am without money, start thinking you're abundant, that you have plenty of money, and it's always there from multiple sources. And live in that state of consciousness, feeling that feeling of relief and joy. And it will have to show up because the universe only mirrors back who we are. And my state of consciousness determines who I show myself to be to the universe. So, questions? Just leave a comment or schedule an appointment. Blessings.